Welcome to Gearbox. Jimmy appears to have disappeared up the road somewhere. Let's find out why.
Thanks, Jace. I'm here at the concert hall in the Concourse Performing Arts Centre, Chatswood, and I've worn a very loud shirt. I'm standing in front of a very loud PA, but loud's not necessarily what Anya is all about. Anya is a new system from EAW with some pretty incredible pattern control characteristics. Now, with each element checking in at 130 odd kilos, getting a dozen of these things into the CX studio was a bit of a long shot, but since it's conveniently up the road, I thought I'd come up here and check it out. I'll come back to the studio and let you know what I think.
Jimmy, welcome back.
Dude, wow.
Yeah, wasn't that incredible?
Mate, it's no secret, I've sort of been hanging out to hear Anya in person. Because, you know, it's one thing to hear about pattern control, but it's another thing entirely to actually be there and experience it. And it was a very new and very eye-opening thing.
Yeah, I mean, I've never heard anything like that before. I've never seen anything with that capability before. It is revolutionary.
And not anything that can sound that good in such a controlled manner.
Okay. Well, starting at the start, rigging it.
Okay,
Getting it up.
rigging it.
What are the basics?
All right, each box has integrated flyware. Basically, you fly your bracket in on top of a stack, you punch the pins in on the back, you lift it out, you roll the next stack in underneath. If you're going to rig multiple hangs adjacent to each other, the dollies have turntables. The dollies can hold 18 boxes, which they need to be able to if you're going to drop a whole hang down to de-rig it. It's all dead hung. There's no angles, there's no tilting. It all hangs in a dead vertical plane. And in fact, the system's actually got gyros in each box, which can tell when it's moved.
Okay, right. So once you've got it up in the air, how do you actually define where it's going to cover? How do you access this amazing beam steering?
The first thing you do is you switch it on, at which point every box talks via little IR transceivers in all the abutting faces to every other box around it and goes, hey, who are my friends? And then all of that appears on your screen in the same logical layout as it is in the physical world. From there, and this is all done within Resolution, the software, you define your audience area, you tell the software where Anya is, it knows how much Anya is there, you say, I want to cover from this point to this point, and then you hit go, it does some computations, that takes 2 minutes maybe, then it uploads all of that control data into the cabinets, whereupon your coverage area is exactly what you've drawn.
Yeah, and you can actually split, like you can say, I want to cover down
here
and up here.
You can do multiple levels.
Yeah, much in what we were looking at last night, in a fairly traditional, stalls and circle.
Yeah, and you can go up or down by 90 degrees each way, so effectively 180 degrees. How well you can do that is dependent, obviously, on how long your array is, and that's a fairly traditional characteristic of line arrays. The bigger the array, the better control. But look, for me, I think the absolutely mind-blowing thing about this was that I've worked in that room a lot, and I know what I expect that room to sound like, because it's a concert hall, it's got a large reverberant field, and it didn't sound like I expected it to. It sounded radically different. It sounded like, a totally different room, and that's because there was no sound being
blasted off the walls, off the back wall.
Exactly,
it was just so controlled.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The sound was being sent to the area where we were and not everywhere else in the room.
Yeah, it was extremely controlled. It was almost like having a studio monitor, like in your face. It was very, very impressive. I mean, I think with the power of it, I really want to hear it outdoors now. I really want to hear it in a big, outdoor like my Music Bowl in Melbourne, something like that. Really, throwing and covering. I think that will be the interesting test.
Yeah. I mean, that is a good point. Sort of where we were is a decent sized venue, but like it's a serious PA, and as much as I was game to turn it up, I did. But at some point you kind of run out of room.
Yeah.
And you want to keep it within the bounds of sanity, but I think the evenness of the coverage as well.
Yeah, this is the game-changing technology. It's the beam steering and the incredible control you have over it and the intelligence behind it. That's what's going to really change things.
Yeah, I think the ability to be able to send the sound where it needs to be, where the audience is, and not everywhere else in the place is a huge thing, and I think they've done exceptionally well with this product.
Yes.